I will say this. We always look at the team that's more rested, having a big advantage in a series, and I think it can backfire in game one. So the Warriors are moving in multiple new. Iggy's going to play a little. Peyton's back. Otto Porter. So you got some new guys in the rotation. You haven't played in a week. I actually feel like game one's a steal. It's an opportunity for Boston to be like, remember, the most rested usually means ugly first half. So I'm going to start with that. I do think Boston can steal game one. Am I nuts? In your years covering the league, am I nuts?
Yeah, you're nuts.
Okay.
I do believe you can paint a picture where you can convince yourself that the opportunity is there. But there was nothing about the Boston Celtics and the way... Did they take advantage of opportunities in this Miami Heat series? I felt like, no, they had to be sort of cudgeled into playing their best basketball. Being in the series and having a chance to go to the finals wasn't enough. They had to be embarrassed at various times to get the best out of them. And I honestly, I felt better about the Boston Celtics and their chances against the Golden State Warriors. I had them winning this series, but I felt much better about them going into the Eastern Conference Finals than I feel about them coming out of it. They just don't look quite ready for this stage.
Yeah.
Every time it came to closing a game or in a big moment, their best players looked uncertain. It was a collective effort, but I feel as if they outlasted Miami rather than put their foot on their neck and said, we're the better team and we're moving on because we have bigger and better things to get done.
So, Steph Curry's interesting. So I roll my eyes at the shade at Steph Curry. He is not a great defensive player, but there have been a lot of wonderful NBA stars who are not great defensive players. Yes, MJ was. Kareem was, obviously. LeBron in his prime, Duncan. We all know that. Larry Bird wasn't, more of a team defender. But I look at Steph Curry, and I think his legacy is formed. Changed the game, greatest shooter ever, unbelievably selfless, high IQ. Like, I don't think you can change it. But he doesn't have a finals MVP. And for a lot of NBA people, Rick, that's a big deal. Not for me. It is to a lot. So how do you view this with Steph and the importance of the finals?
I do believe that he can change it, and I believe that it will be damaged if he doesn't win it against these Boston Celtics. If Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics, or whoever it is who leads the charge for the Boston Celtics, wins the championship and is finals MVP, by comparison, you're going to say, okay, Steph has all these accomplishments. He's all of this. But he's been to the finals all these times, and he's never won finals MVP. He was never good enough to win finals MVP and win the championship. On the flip side, that for all that he's accomplished, that not having been the biggest player, the best player on the final stage is the one thing that holds him back from, at least, not everyone, but a good deal of people out there that don't put him in that LeBron, KD, Michael, Kobe, Akeem, like guys that won multiple championships and had a finals MVP. And I think at this point he just needs to win one. I've always said he's a very unique superstar in that he has the utmost confidence, and yet he is egoless in terms of inviting everybody into the party.
Right.
Generally, the Kobes and the Michaels are like, no, get out of the way, let me get it done. Steph's like, oh, I think you might be able to help me here. I'll utilize you, and I don't have a problem if you're the finals MVP. I truly think he thinks that way. But from the outside, when we're measuring him against the all-time greats, it's a little bit different, just because that's the way we look at things. And you mentioned his defense, and I honestly, I think his defense is as good or better than it's been right now. I don't know how much of that is because Klay's has slipped, Draymond's has slipped, and so it isn't so much that Steph has improved, it's just that he's maintained, and some of those other guys are not the same defensive players that they've been. And that is the one caveat that I have, the one question that I have about the Golden State Warriors is whether they are capable of playing defense to the level that the Miami Heat did. How much of what we saw with the Celtics and their stuttering in those big moments is really a credit to the Miami Heat and how stout they were defensively.
All right, 45 seconds here. Darvin Ham, your reaction, Lakers coach.
It's a holiday. What are you talking about 45 seconds? We got okay, go ahead.
So what do you make of it? Darvin Ham, I would have taken Doc, probably wasn't available. What do you make?
Yeah, no, look, I like Darvin Ham as a coach. I think he can be a really good coach. I think among all the candidates available, he was the best choice. But a first-time head coach, you're handing him the expectations of the Lakers, and you're handing him the massive egos with the resumes that they have. It's just a recipe that is going to be a major challenge. I just hope he survives it and is given an opportunity to coach a team that's more fitting for a guy who's just starting out in the job.
Yeah. Everybody likes him. That's something. LeBron said
that was 45, right?
Yeah,
I got that in.
Bucher, for the first time in your life, you left us time.
I know.
I really appreciate it.
I know. Oh, really?
You know I love you.
I left time to say Happy Memorial Day to you and Joy and everybody out there.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.